100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly cloudy good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. I say mostly cloudy. Some of you taking a look at some beautiful sun. Others of you, everything is beginning to dry out for most of us as we saw a little bit of rain move through. Not a lot, but just enough to kind of wet the ground as we move through the early morning hours of this morning. A little bit of thunder, a little bit of lightning, but that was about it. Temperatures quite mild to start our day off and start the week off after a fairly uneventful weekend in terms of precipitation. We did have a little bit that rolled through on Friday night and early Saturday morning, but as we move through the day on Saturday, things kind of thinned out. Sunday, a very nice day to start with for many of us. And as we moved into the evening hours, the clouds moved in. And once those clouds moved in, it got pretty chilly. At least it felt chilly because we had an east and a southeast wind to contend with. But right now, Matthew, what do we have on the thermometer?
Currently, over at the airport, it's partly sunny at 63. Over in Midland, it's cloudy at 63. Here at Radio Center, it's partly sunny at 62. We have south winds at 22, gusting up to 33 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 29.67, and it's falling.
We have a low pressure system that's currently over Lake Superior. That low is moving to the east-northeast. It will be over eastern Ontario province here late this afternoon and this evening, and along with it is going to go all the clouds and everything else. So we should see things begin to clear off, the clouds thin up as we go through the afternoon. The wind speeds are really going to pick up. It's a little breezy out there right now, as Matthew indicated, but it's going to get a whole lot breezier. We are looking for wind gusts of pretty close to 40 miles per hour as we move through the afternoon. Then it'll become a little bit more southwesterly and eventually westerly as that low moves away, but the wind speed is not going to die down. We're still looking at a west wind tonight gusting up to 40 miles per hour, prevailing wind of 20 to 25 miles per hour out of the west. But as I said, clearing skies. Temperatures moving up just a little bit warmer than what we are right now. We'll probably finish off at about 66 degrees, and then the temperature will drop as we go into the afternoon. As we said, things begin to thin out just a little bit. The sun is not going to help us all that much, but again, it is quite mild even without the sun. 57 is where we, or I should say 58 is where we should be this time of the year, and we'll finish off in that middle 60-degree range. With clearing skies tonight, we'll drop down to right around 39. Sun will set this evening at 8:27, rise tomorrow morning at 6:42. We should see the sunset tonight, but we're not going to benefit a lot from the record warm temperatures to the south of us, but still, we are going to be running above normal for the next several days. I say benefit from, there's a high pressure system off in the Atlantic, off the southeast coast of the continental United States. They call it a Bermuda high. And what's been happening, and it's been very subtle, except for the folks that are down in Florida, that have been down in Florida, and they're coming back here. They have had some pretty warm temperatures, and we're seeing the warmer temperature readings pretty much all along the Gulf Coast, even over as far as New Orleans over the past several days. This heat is going to continue down in that part of the country. And just to kind of give you an idea, this week, the Tampa area is going to average at right around 94 degrees. Tallahassee will average anywhere from 88 to 90 degrees. The average temperature for a good part of the work week this week in New Orleans will be 85, Atlanta 85, and even in North Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, their average temperature for the next several days is going to be right around 81 degrees. The rest of the month is going to continue to be quite warm there. And it's, you look at everything east of the Rockies we're going to be looking at above average temperatures to finish off the month of April. And it does appear as though it's going to spill over into May. We might not be quite as above average as what we will be over the next few days in the months of May. And again, I want to say 64, 65, 66 degrees for this time of the year. You're talking a good 7 to 10 degrees above average where we should be. The normal high 58 and the normal low is 38. Tomorrow, with partly cloudy skies, maybe some showers late tomorrow night into the early morning hours on Wednesday. Tomorrow's high will be 61. The low will be 43. So again, at night, yeah, it cools down. It's going to feel chilly, but it's certainly way warmer than what it should be. And then on Wednesday, with clouds and a scattered shower early, but as we go through the day on Wednesday, everything should clear off. 66 will be our high, 48 will be our low. And on Thursday, once again, we're going to be looking at a partly cloudy day with a chance, widely scattered shower activity late Thursday night into the day on Friday. Thursday's high, we'll be looking at 73, 74 degrees for a high and 55 or so for a low on Thursday night. The chances of rain will increase, especially after midnight on Thursday night. And then on Friday looks like it's going to be a damp day. 72, so again, quite mild. It is going to be cloudy. It will be rainy. And the shower activity will taper off late on Friday. Then overnight on Friday night, we're not going to have much of a chance of precipitation because clouds will really thin out. It'll be partly cloudy on Friday night. And then the partly cloudy to mostly sunny forecast is for Saturday and Sunday. Now, the reason why Saturday and Sunday are going to be partly cloudy is because the system that's going to affect our weather real early on Friday morning and then pretty much all day during the day on Friday is going to clear out. Along with that, temperatures are going to drop down as well. We'll be pretty close to normal on Saturday for a high temperature, upper 50s, upper 30s for a low on Saturday night. And then on Sunday, with mostly sunny skies, we'll work our way into that low 60-degree range. And as we indicated, that above average temperature trend is going to take us not only through the end of April, but into the first 5 days of the month of May. Slightly above average as far as the moisture goes. We're not looking for any gully washers. You know, an isolated thunder shower is not out of the picture at all. Again, because of this big temperature bubble that we're working with and the record heat down in the southeast, that high pressure is pushing the attempted surges of cold air off to the north and the northwest. So once you get up into and around the Dakotas, Montana, Minnesota, especially northern Minnesota, that area, they're going to be struggling with at or slightly below temperatures there. So that line of thunderstorm activity and problematic type weather is going to run just to the north and west of Michigan. So it is going to put us in a fairly close range when it comes to precipitation, but precipitation may be every other day, and the amount of precipitation is not going to be all that much. It's probably going to be more of a nuisance than anything else. As far as moisture goes, from all of the readings I've been able to gather so far this morning, we're looking at anywhere from barely a trace to maybe about 15 hundredths of an inch of precipitation. And that was over in the Midland area and Mount Pleasant. We have had a couple of unofficial readings in the Munger area of about 17 hundredths of an inch. And then you got to go way off to the east side. Sandusky, they did pick up about 3/10 of an inch of rain out of these systems a little bit earlier. But all that activity has now finally cleared the state, other than the extreme southeast corner right at the Michigan and Ohio border. Record high in the state, 84, set back in 1985. Incidentally, this date back in 1985 was the warmest ever on record. 84 was our high, 60 was our low. The record low temperature, coldest, you don't have to go back very few years. 4 years ago, 2021, our high was 44 and our low was 24. The record low temperature on this date was 24. That was set in 2021. And a year ago today, our high was 58 and our low was 34. We had no precipitation to talk about. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by, Matthew, on this busy Monday. Who do we have?
Up next, we have Gary Kaufman from Star of the West, and we also have Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
But before we get to them, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrient Ag Solutions.
Nutrient Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrient Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrientagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrient Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Michigan Corn Growers Association want to remind you the final Coffee with Corn comes up tomorrow. Dr. Aaron Burns from Michigan State University will be talking about early season weed control. And from some folks talking to me, they tell me it is going to be an issue this year. So it might not be all that bad of an idea to punch up the Coffee with Corn tomorrow morning, beginning at 7:30 until about 8:30. You need to register online to receive the meeting link. There is one RUP credit available for this session. Again, the final Coffee with Corn for 2025 tomorrow morning, beginning at 7:30. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Pete Costello Painting. They specialize in all types of painting and hot rubber bin seal. Farmers as well as businesses know that Pete the Painter repairs and paints barns and roofs. And he also takes care of grain bins, houses, and Morton buildings. So all you got to do is give him a call, 517-667-0982. He does do free estimates. So again, that number, 517-667-0982. So give him a call today before that calendar fills up, because it always fills up really fast. Gary Kaufman from Star of the West joining me this morning. And Gary, I hope you had a nice Easter holiday.
I did. Hopefully you did as well, Terry. Yeah, I had a nice, pleasant weekend. So.
Yep. Yeah, that sunrise service, boy, I'll tell you, that tests your mettle.
Well, yes, it does, but good reason to get up early.
Boy, it sure does. It sure is. You know, I took a look at the prices here before we went on the air, and corn is trying mightily to stay in the green, but everything else is having a tough time.
Yeah, we started out, on the positive last night. Early this morning, everything was positive, and then we just kind of leaked lower as the morning went on here, Terry. And corn continues to gain some strength and continued export demand exceeding expectations. We had good exports last week of 61.5 million bushel, and that was a 9-week high. And when we get into May and get that next USDA report, USDA is going to have to make some upward adjustments, I think, on the yearly corn export number of about 100 to 150 million bushels. So, all in all, that great demand has been keeping the corn probably ahead more so than the corn or the wheat and the soybeans for sure. Yeah.
Really? So we're getting rid of more corn?
Yep. No. Yeah. You look at the total. We're well above last year's total at this time of the year. We're at 2.23 billion bushels. Where last year at this time we're at 1.75. So yeah, a lot of that's been, of course, Mexico, and even the absence of China from corn has been going out the back door, you could say. So,
Well, and again, a lot of us forget that for a while, Russia wasn't buying much of anything from us.
yeah, it's amazing. Of course, with the dollar as low as it is, that's just gonna give us more export opportunities, not only in corn, but even maybe soybeans. Even with the tariff tariff tribulations and triumphs or whatever, with China being absent, the lower dollar has created more opportunity, not only in corn but wheat as well, for sure.
So right now on the board, and you better read them quick because I'm seeing market drop even more.
Yeah, let's call cash wheat down 630, 528 on the white, 453 on the red. New crop wheat also down 6 at 556 on the white, 471 on the red. Call cash corn up a penny at 413. New crop unchanged at 401. Cash soybeans down a nickel at 946, and new crop also down 5 cherry at 948.
Whew, got that in.
Yeah.
I'm watching.
Well, we'll see what the rest of the week brings us.
Yeah, no kidding. Gary, you have a great day, okay?
I will. You do the same. Thank you.
Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. A little bit more in depth. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining us. The Market Report brought to you by Thumb Bank. Working with agriculture since 1895. They keep up with changes in industry trends and how all of that affects your operation. So get a hold of them today. Thumb Banks throughout the Thumb and Great Lakes Bay region. They've got 13 locations, including Freeland now. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust. And by Ed Raymond & Sons, quality clothing and shoes since 1919. Carhartt's, Red Wing shoes and boots, Stormy Cromer accessories, and a whole lot more. You won't believe it. You got to go see them. 151 West Broad Street in Chesaning. They're open 7 days. For more information, you can check them out at edraymond's.com. Doug Klein, good morning. How are you? Is Doug there?
I'm here.
You're there. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Hey, fantastic. You had a nice weekend, did you?
Oh, sure. And you too?
Oh, you bet. You bet. It
Mhm.
was wonderful. Great to see all those folks in church, Doug. I gotta, that's one thing I do have to comment on this year. We've seen it gradually since COVID increase, and it was really great to see as many people in the churches all around than this, especially this Easter, and all the businesses that were closed for Easter. That was nice
Yeah.
to see as well.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sure was. Now I wish the guys in Chicago would have got a little religion.
Well, yeah. There's a little bit of risk off today, and it's kind of gaining momentum. So that's not great. Gold hit a new high today. It's sitting at 34.35 right now, up $107. Bitcoin is screaming up too, 88,000, up 4.5%. So those two guys are really pulling in the dough, and everybody else is kind of shedding the dough. The dollar hit a 3-year low today, setting at 98.39. So that should help exports eventually when people finally decide that they want to buy from us again. So maybe that's down the road. We'll have to see how that plays out. Unfortunately, it might be a volatile week, but as it stands right now, the May corn is 483 and a quarter, up a penny. September corn 458 and a quarter, down a quarter of a penny. The May soybeans 1031 and a quarter, down 5 and a quarter. September soybeans 1022 and a half, down 6. The May wheat is 541 and a half, down 7 and a quarter, and September wheat 570 and 3/4, down 5 and 3/4. So crude oil is 62.40, down $1.61. Heating oil 207.36, down 3.9 cents. Gasoline 206.19, down 3.7 cents. Natural gas 352 and a quarter, down 14 cents. Over to currencies, Canadian dollar, US dollar buys $1.3812 Canadian, that's down by 36 ticks. The dollar buys 140.82 yen, that's down 135 ticks. The euro's at 115.05, that's up 114 ticks. And the dollar's at 98.40, down 96.8 ticks. Gold's at 34.35, up $106.60. Silver's 32.73, up 10 cents. Platinum's 965.60, down $7.50. And copper's 480.25, up 1.2 cents.
Okay. Well, you have a good one.
Thank you.
Well, hang on for another week.
Will do.
Yes, Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Freeland Bean and Grain. Planting season is here for a lot of folks, and there's a whole lot of questions as folks are going to be having, especially when it comes to getting that crop to finally get rolling once this soil temperature warms up even more. The folks at Freeland Bean and Grain have got the advice. They've got the guys that answer those questions. And of course, they've got the product to make sure that your crop is healthy as it goes through spring. Serving you is their business. They've been doing it since 1983, Freeland Bean and Grain. Over to Bryce Stein now with Michigan Sugar Company. Bryce's report brought to you by the folks at Foster Blue Water Oil and Blue Flame Propane. Bryce, it was a busy week last week for a lot of producers. What's the latest as far as acreage planted now with the beets?
Good morning, Terry. Yes, we are just under 30% planted. Just under 30% planted. A big week after we talked on Monday a week ago. Most guys got rolling Wednesday, Thursday. Some of them were able to get rolling Tuesday late afternoon, and a lot of them were wondering if that was the right decision to do, but the ground was fit. Temperatures are warming up. You mentioned soil temperature earlier, and we've added about 4 to 5 degrees soil temp in that first 2 inches of soil. So we're just in the low 50s now, and this next week looks really nice to continue to add to it.
Again, I got to go back to those early beets. You think that was a good move for some of those guys?
I figured you would, Terry, so I have a nice update for those. Most of them were starting to emerge last week, and with Friday's rain, it was actually a blessing because most of them were coming into a small crust. So with that rain, I would expect most of them were in pretty good shape to continue to emerge and come through. I would say we should know a lot more over the next 2 to 3 days on those first planted beets, but they were starting to come through late last week.
And as far as the wind is concerned, obviously, we don't have to worry about them in the ground, but for those little beets that were just popping up, 40 and 45 mile an hour winds are kind of tough.
That is, and they'll be okay over the next couple of days yet, but yet, for sure, 4 or 5 days from now, they'll get spun off pretty quick like a helicopter if that wind continues. So a lot of growers are starting to adopt a cover crop play where they'll work the field and work in a oats or barley cover crop, and that definitely helps hold that soil as well as protect the little guys from the wind.
Bryce, thanks a lot for sharing. We'll talk again next week, okay?
Have a good one.
I will. Bryce Stein, brought to you by Foster Blue Water Oil and Blue Flame Propane. You remember, for more power, faster cold starts, and maximum lubricity, and up to 8% improved fuel economy, go with Extreme Diesel from Power Service. Available from Foster Blue Water Oil, supplying fuel, propane, lubricants, diesel, exhaust fluid, and energy services for over 80 years. Jerry Samolsky joining me right now from Bay Landscaping and Garden Center. Jerry, what should we be doing right now?
Terry, I just want to mention to people the grass is greening up, and for those that had seeded last fall and say, geez, it's not coming up, what's going on? Grass is starting to grow. Oh, I better redo it. Be patient. You were just talking about soil temps being, starting to get up into 50. Well, grass seed wants 50 to 55 degrees to germinate. So we're going to have a while yet. So even if you put it in today, it isn't quite warm enough to germinate. So you're going to be lagging a couple weeks, because if you seeded it before and said, geez, it came up in about 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and we're growing, and now I put it down, I'm hardly getting anything. That's just because of soil temps. We got to wait for those soil temps to get up. So if you've sown grass seed in the fall or earlier yet this spring, be patient. It's going to come, but it's going to take some time.
Good advice. Jerry, take care. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. All righty?
Yes, sir.
Jerry Samolsky. We'll be right back.
The weather has been very difficult to predict over the last year and a half, and many farmers have not had a chance to address soil health. Let's make this spring the start of something great. Your soil prep partner, Morgan Composting, can't control the weather, but they can save you time and money.
Your fields already have nutrients locked in the soil. Dairy Dew Layer manure-based compost blends naturally release these nutrients, improve the biology, and help with moisture retention. Get a custom Dairy Dew blend made for what your soils and crops need to maximize your dollars and prep your farm for a healthy and profitable growing season.
With granulated fertilizers and powerful liquid amendments too, save time by getting your entire fertility plan made in one place. Morgan Composting, serving Michigan farmers for more than 25 years. Call the soil health experts now at Morgan Composting or visit dairydew.com to learn more.
If plants come from healthy soil comes from Dairy Dew.
Farm Service been brought to you today by the folks at CMR Tractors in Millington. Those Coyote tractors, 0.99% up to 72 months from CMR Tractors in Millington. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem, brought to you by Euclid Avenue Coin in Bay City.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton,